What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlemania here, back with another episode. Celebrities have always been an integral part of Wrestlemania, showcasing some of the most prolific and iconic celebrities in the world over the past 3 decades. I mean, where would the WWE be without the celebrity endorsements of both Cyndi Lauper, Muhammad Ali and Liberace from the first WrestleMania? Without them, it's clear to say that WrestleMania may have not reached the heights and publicity that the celebs brought in. At times though, the WWE have been guilty to dip into the Z-list box of celebrities, with those looking in for a quick payday and at times never even seen wrestling, let alone be a part of it. So join us as we count down the top 10 worst WrestleMania celebrities. Number 10. Jonathan Taylor Thomas. WrestleMania 11 had a fair lineup of celebrities. You had Pamela Anderson, Jenny McCarthy, Salt and Pepper, Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Wait, what? Yeah, that shrimpy little kid from the TV sitcom Home Improvement was featured on the grandest stage of them all, amongst a decent lineup of celebrities. If you could count out Nicholas Totoro, who was one of the stars from NYPD Blue. Other than being a timekeeper in the main event between Diesel and Shawn Michaels, Thomas was featured in such hilarious skits with Bob Backlund as he outwitted him in an adrenaline-pumping game of chess. Number 9. Herb. I'm sure you're asking yourself, who the hell is this guy? Well, Herb, also known as John Merrick, was part of Burger King's advertising campaign in the mid-80s. The campaign centered around a man named Herb who supposedly has never eaten at a Burger King before. If you managed to find Herb at one of your local Burger Kings, you would then win a prize, and if you mentioned the phrase, "I'm not Herb," you would get a discounted Whopper. Clearly, the WWF had to snatch this guy right up due to his huge popularity. Well, he got his 15 minutes of fame by being the timekeeper in the absolutely awful boxing match between Rowdy Roddy Piper and Mr. T. Similar to Burger King's advertising campaign, Herb's appearance was more flopper than Whopper. Number 8. SNOOKI. Jersey Shore, the home of stupid haircuts, minuscule brain juice heads, and people who look like they've taken a trip to the sun's surface to get a tan. One of those supposed celebs was Nicole Palazzi, aka SNOOKI, a self-confessed Guidette. SNOOKI was involved in the 6-person mixed tag team match with her partners Trish Stratus and John Morrison at WrestleMania 27. Now, one of my pet peeves in wrestling is where they get involved in a wrestling match physically. Pretty much booed throughout the whole match by the fans, WWE went so far as having SNOOKI get the win. What the hell were they thinking? On a side note, there also seemed to be a little bit of heat between Morrison and Trish Stratus, as he believed the spot should have been given to his then girlfriend Melina. Number 7. RUN-D.M.C. Rap was a pretty newish genre in the early and late 80s. However, nobody could have foretold of the abomination of that which is the WrestleMania rap. Now, I have to admit, I love Run-D.M.C. They are more or less credited as being one of the most influential acts in the history of hip-hop culture. With that in mind, there was a slight simmer of hope as they came out to a good enough ovation. There was, however, so much reverb in the Boardwalk Hall that you couldn't even hear what they were rapping. So all you could hear was nonsensical words. In a way, rap, I guess. But the performance didn't exactly ignite the crowd, and most were left in awe as to what they just witnessed. Rap and wrestling just doesn't seem to go together. Number 6. Donald Trump. Apart from his involvement in politics, Donald Trump has proved to be an equally bigger buffoon in the wrestling world. In early WrestleManias, Trump was not quite so within the spotlight and participated purely as a spectator. That was until he took a much heavier, and I use that term loosely, role at WrestleMania 23, where he was involved in the Battle of the Billionaires hair versus hair match against Vince McMahon. I'm sure it was plain to see that Trump would never shave off his beloved ginger cat weave that he calls his hair, making the result of the match somewhat predictable. Number 5. Bob Uecker. Bob Uecker is a renowned legend in the sport of baseball and dubbed the Mr. Baseball. Vince loves slapstick and wanted Bob to portray a goofy character, giving him a good chunk of airtime at WrestleMania 3. This wasn't too bad, as Bob, even though boring as an in-flight air magazine on Air Belgium, was only given a small role with the color commentators. His involvement in WrestleMania 4, however, was far more creepier. Bob spent the majority of his role chasing TV personality Vanna White throughout the building as a horny grandpa. Hilarity ensued when Bob comes right at the last moment only to miss Vanna by seconds. This was topped off by Vanna not even knowing who Bob was. Awkward. Number 4. Lawrence Taylor. It can be quite cool when pro footballers meet pro wrestlers. Having legit tough men compete against each other can be a good draw, such as William the Refrigerator Perry being involved in the Battle Royal at WrestleMania 2 alongside with other footballers. It's just a shame when they are given such a big role like, the main event. Understandably, WrestleMania is for entertainment, but I'm sure the majority of its fans would like to see some professional wrestling and not just a shoving match. To Lawrence's credit, he pulled off a few moves like a scoop slam and a second rope clothesline, but that still doesn't give any reason why the match should be in the main event. Alas, poor Bam Bam. He deserved better. Number 3. The DX Band. What do you think of every time the opening national anthem is played at WrestleMania? A gentle piano riff or a cappella? Seeing the stars and stripes of America with the standard eagle and low-flying jets streaming the red, white and blue in all its glory? This is what we've become accustomed to. Not a third-rate rock band butchering an entire country's beloved anthem. After the stellar performance, the band received a hurl of boos, and I'm sure the WWE has learnt its lesson by not giving rock bands that chance ever again. I sincerely hope Limp Bizkit won't be singing "Oh Canada" at WrestleMania 50. Number 2. Kim Kardashian. Of course, many of us know why Kim Kardashian is famous, and no, it's not because of her perfume line. She is one of many celebrities who belong nowhere near a wrestling event. Instead of keeping out the Kardashians, she was the hostess for WrestleMania 24. Even before the pay-per-view had started, she gave a very bland promo for you to join her at WrestleMania as only the cool people come. After that enthusiastic performance, she announced the attendance number. Ugh, she has all the personality of a wooden spoon. And number 1. Celebrities as color commentators sounds like a great idea on paper. They normally have a great on-air personality that can channel through with witty catchphrases and good back and forth banter. Enter Art Donovan. Whoops, sorry, wrong pay-per-view. Enter Susan St. James. St. James appeared at WrestleMania 2, which was quite a unique setting on its own. The event aired over 3 different locations over America. The production would therefore have to split the commentators into 3 different locations with a celebrity in each one. Jesse Ventura and Lord Alfred Hayes were joined by Elvira in LA. In Chicago, Gorilla Monsoon and Gene Okerlund were joined by Kathy Lee Crosby. And in New York, good old Vinnie Mac was left with Susan St. James as a duo. St. James had clearly not watched the product and led to every action being called with an
a slashing right hand, maybe I believe to the eye of George Wells.
Seriously, she says it about 30 times during the 3 matches called. I thought Vince was going to strangle himself with his own headset, but the booking of each match proved to be even worse. Well guys, that about wraps up this episode here. I hope you can like, comment and subscribe on the video, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.